Hi, how are you? I think it's Tuesday, and tonight is fajita night. Unfortunately, Doug is at a meeting in the office, so you've got just me, so we won't have the best cameraman kind of checking things out, so I'll be showing you stuff as I make it. So tonight we're gonna make fajitas. I'm sorry I'm a little bit late, but I forgot to put the oven on before, but I remember now, and the finished dinner is going to be done in about 4 or 5 minutes. So we can get started with the cooking, and when the oven rings, I'll go get it and then I'll come back. So, okay, fajitas. So fajitas are a very, very simple recipe. And what's really great about fajitas, as Mona always likes to do, you always get your 3 cups of vegetables, and it's so simple with fajitas to do that. Because think about all the great fajita vegetables and the ones we're going to be using today. We've got onions. Who doesn't love onions and fajitas? We've got zucchini. Tonight I'm putting in zucchini, which I cut into small pieces. And remember, we talked about how we want all of the cooking to happen at the same time. For those of you who are new, that's what we talked about. So we want the cooking of the vegetables to happen all at the same time. So this is a 15-20 minute recipe. So you want to make sure all the vegetables are done in 20 minutes. So I specifically picked those vegetables to do that. And the ones that tend to cook a little bit faster are the ones that have more water. So onions, zucchini, of course, some peppers. And those are the vegetables that we're going to use tonight for the fajitas. Typically, I have a recipe for my new cookbook, the Satisfy Cookbook. And if you guys are interested in it, you can go on my website and go under Shop Satisfy, or go to www.satisfycookbook.com, and please pre-order it, because all these recipes that I've been showing you, a lot of them are from this new book. And the recipe from my new book is actually a chicken fajita recipe. So, but tonight I had cod in the refrigerator and I didn't want it to go to waste, so why not make a wild cod fajita? There's fish tacos, right? So why not do a wild cod fajita? And that's what I'm going to do. We're going to cook it a little bit differently though, because chicken and fish cook a little bit differently in the oven. Actually, fish takes a shorter time than chicken to cook. So instead of doing a nice easy peasy sheet pan meal and putting everything in at the same time, the only little change you have to make, and what we did with the fajitas, is we put the vegetables in first for 5 minutes, pull them out, threw the fish on, and now they're cooking up for another 15-17 minutes. So that's the only little tweak. Other than that, I use the same recipe. And guys, you can do that too. You can do it with fish. You can make beef fajitas. You can make chicken fajitas. Shrimp fajitas, I would do similarly to the fish, where I would put the veggies in first for 5 minutes, and then take it out, put the shrimp next to it, and then take it back in for 15 minutes. So, okay. So that's the cooking aspect of fajitas, and they cook in a 375 to 400 degree oven. The first step, though, in this recipe is to make the flavor and to make what I call the fajita paste. And what we're going to do, I'm going to show you all the different ingredients that I'm going to put in. And this will be really, really good for the fish, because it'll soak in all the flavors. So a couple of things that you can do is, if you're using chicken, you could make the marinade in advance and then actually keep the marinade on all day. If you are marinating fish, you should only marinate for 15-20 minutes max, because otherwise the fish can get kind of mushy. So let's get started in learning how to make the marinade. So what we're going to do, we're going to first add a little bit of olive oil. And you don't really need a lot of olive oil. You know, it was funny, I was looking at some recipes online and they were saying add 3 tablespoons of olive oil. No. All you really need, frankly, is 1 teaspoon of olive oil, and it will be enough. And it will taste just as good and taste as delicious. So who's on board? Hey, Jerry. Hi, Marla. Hey, Jackie. And hi, Carol. So we're going to start with the olive oil. I'm putting in about a teaspoon and a half of olive oil. The other liquid I'm going to put in is fresh lime juice. And for those of you who don't have one of these, you should definitely get them. They're on my store. And this is a zester. And what the zester does, you just basically put half the lime in there and give it a squeeze. Isn't this fun? I love playing with this. And it gets all the juice out, so there's no need to cut it. There's no need to squeeze it with your fingers. And it's just awesome. So I've got my oil, I've got my lime juice, and now we're going to go spice it up. So I have a combination of my typical Mexican spices I like to mix up for fajitas. And they include, I like using smoked paprika, because that gives it a really nice spicy, smoky taste. So I'm going to add a little bit of that. I'm going to add some chili powder, of course, and I like the combination of the chili powder with the paprika. It'll give it a lot of very, very rich, savory taste, smoky taste. The other thing I'm going to add is cumin. That's a very typical Mexican spice, and cumin is actually really, really good for you, as is chili powder from phytonutrient and antioxidant, and that kind of stuff. Adding in a little bit of salt and pepper, some fresh garlic. I'm putting in about a clove of fresh garlic. Okay. And then what we're going to do is basically mix it up, and you'll see it's going to turn into a paste, kind of like a light paste. And we're going to use the spice to both coat the fish and coat the veggies. So I'm just going to show you what this looks like when you're done. So it looks like that. So so the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to take a teaspoon of this, or a teaspoon and a half, and I'm going to put it in another pan. Why am I doing that? Is because I like to marinate the fish kind of separately from the vegetables, because I don't want the raw fish and the vegetables kind of touching each other, and this will allow me to do my fish thing, get it all marinated, leave it marinated for my 15 minutes, so then I can do my vegetables, put my vegetables in for 5 minutes, and then take the vegetables out, put the fish in, and it'll be perfect. So I just split the sauces into 2 parts. I'll show you how. So the next thing I'm going to do is get out my fish. Where's my fish? Oh, here it is. So I'm using a wild cod. And for 2 people, you want to get like 5 to 6 ounces of cod per person. So that's about 12 ounces of cod, which is about 3/4 of a pound. Ooh, you know what that means, don't you? The fajitas are ready. So I'll give you a sneak peek of what it looks like, okay? And for those of you who came on board, I'm a little bit late today because I forgot to turn the oven on. Ah! Okay, let's shut this off. But guys, this is what it's going to look like when it's done. So delicious. Does that look good or what? I've got my roasted veggies and my fish, but we'll plate that later. But I just wanted you to get a little bit of smell-o-vision of what we're making here. It's so delicious. Yeah, I see some high fives there. Hey, Jackie. Hi, Lori. How are you? Great. So we've taken our wonderful marinade, which is a combination. I love the combo of chili powder and paprika, cumin, salt, pepper. I put in some fresh garlic, and for the liquid, the lime juice and the olive oil. Put a couple of tablespoons in for the vegetables and the rest for the fish. So then here's my wild cod, and I cut it into pieces, bite-sized pieces. Typically what I would do if I were to make chicken fajitas, I cut that up too. And that'll just make it easier for you to eat and won't get mushy when you take it out of the oven and you're done. So I'm going to put my fish into my marinade here. And then you get to have a good time, like arts and crafts. You get to use your hands, which I love to do, because it's good to feel your food. You know, you got to feel what comes from the earth. And, everything we're using here today is a product of the earth, of a plant, of the ocean. And everything is so fresh, which is so, so good. Okay. So your fish should look like this when you want to marinate it. So this is going to be marinating for about 15 minutes. You don't want to marinate fish for more than that because then it'll get mushy. Okay, so remember we still have a couple of tablespoons of the sauce. So what we're going to do now is we're going to marinate. We're going to go coat the veggies. So remember Mona's rule. I'm just going to dry my hands for a second. Remember my rule. For those of you who've come on, I'm all about eating vegetables, right? So for every meal, it's really important to try to get how many cups? 3 cups of vegetables for every meal. And this is a great way to do it because I've made sure that there's a cup of onions and a cup of zucchini and a cup of peppers, and you can mix it up. If you want to add tomatoes, that's also a good water vegetable. Add it in. And remember, I added these vegetables because these are what I call my water vegetables. So they're all going to cook at around the same time, which is about 15 or 20 minutes. So I've got my 3 cups of vegetables here, which is awesome. And that's like 1 serving. Can you believe it? That's 6 ounces of fish and all those vegetables. That's a lot of food, right? And it's only 480 calories. Go figure. But a lot of fiber. And that's another thing why I like to have 3 cups of vegetables is because it's going to keep you full, and it's full of all the great phytonutrients. the vitamin A, the vitamin B's, the vitamin C, and you'll notice that I always like picking vegetables the colors of the rainbow. I think it's really, really important to do that because you want to get a combination. Like peppers have great vitamin C and some vitamin A, zucchini the same. Onions are so good from an anti-inflammatory standpoint, especially an immunity standpoint right now. Fresh garlic as well. So it's all really important to, when you select your vegetables, to mix up the colors. It not only makes it pretty and makes you happy when you look at your plate, but also you're getting all great combinations of vitamins. Okay, who else? Hi Patty, how are you? Hey Mo. And oh, I know Mo, it tastes good. It is pretty yum. I wish you could come over. All right, I'm just gonna add in a little bit more of my paprika and chili powder that I had left from before. And then if you see that, you know what, I don't really have enough marinade, don't worry about it. All you need to do is basically take some olive oil mist. Instead of taking the bottle of olive oil and going go, 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 which will add hundreds and hundreds of calories, there's no need to do that. Get a mister. I happen to have this mist from Trader Joe's. I'm just gonna mist the vegetables just lightly. And then if you feel that they're a little bit bare and you wanna add more spices, have a good time with what you like. I happen to like a combination of chili powder and cumin, so I'm just gonna add a little bit of sprinkle on that, and you're good to go. Have a good time with it. That's the whole part of it. Cooking should be a party, and should be about happy and lovely and great and all this good stuff. And you should really enjoy it and feel comfortable doing it and make it a really, really positive experience. Okay, so what we've done, I'm gonna get these plates away, the dirty ones. You know, I've run my dishwasher like twice today because I want to do my classes, so I want to show you every step. Okay, so we're going to take our pan, and remember what I talked about first. Because we're cooking fish, if you were to cook chicken, for those of you who came on board, if you wanted to make chicken fajitas or beef fajitas, you could put everything on the pan, put it in the oven, and good to go, 20-25 minutes, and dinner will be ready. But because we're using fish today, and we're using fish today because I had it in the refrigerator and I wanted to use it up and eat it, and it was fresh. When you're using fish, fish cooks faster than chicken or beef. So what I'm gonna do first is put my veggies on the pan. Look how beautiful they look, right guys? Make room for daddy, make room for the fish because fishy's coming on board in about 7 minutes. So I'm gonna make sure there's enough air too when you put your vegetables out because you want them to cook up. So just kind of make sure there's hot air circulating around the veggies, which is awesome. And if they look nicely, lightly oiled up and spiced up, and if you feel like you want to add more color or more spice, have a good time. I'm just gonna add a little bit more chili powder to this. And then as far as like dried herbs, you're better off doing the dried herbs in the oven. And then when you want to use fresh herbs like cilantro or basil, whatever you want to use at the end, you can just throw that in at the end when you're done. So I'm going to put this in the oven now. I'm going to set the timer for 7 minutes. And then when that 7-minute buzzer goes off, I'm going to take that and put the fish on and then cook the whole thing for another 15 minutes and then dinner will be done. But dinner's done already, so how do you like that? So I'm going to put this in for 7 minutes. It's really easy. Okay, so that's busy. So now, since we are already done, let's make dinner. So I'm going to so for those of you who just came on board, and through the power of Mona's Kitchen, I have already made dinner for you. So, I don't think it's that hot. There we go. Just wanted to show you guys because Doug's not here tonight. He's in a meeting. But look at this. Look at the beautiful, we've got the cod nicely spiced. We've got the vegetables. So this is all done, ready to go. So now you can make and this is probably maybe a little bit over 1 serving. So I would say we're 2 pieces more than 1 serving, but you get to have all of this for under 500 calories, all these vegetables. You get your 3 cups of vegetables. How cool is that? So as far as the tortillas are concerned, you have 2 ways to do it. One way is to just throw it in the microwave, which we're going to do today for about 15-20 seconds. Or the other way is that you can do it on the pan. I wanted to show you the other way, but Doug's not here, so I don't want to have my back to you. So I'm going to show you the quick and easy way to do it with in the microwave. But if you do want to make it in a pan, all you have to do is get a pan like this. Get a pan like this. Get it really hot on the stove, no oil or anything. Put a little drop of water, and as soon as you see it bubbling, throw the tortilla on for like a minute, flip it over for another minute, and boom, it's done. So that's another way of doing it. If you want to do it on the stove, you can do it on the stove, or if you want to microwave it, you can microwave it. So it's 2 different ways. Okay, so we're gonna I prepared my tortillas, and you want to put them in between 2 damp paper towels, and just throw it in the microwave for about 20 seconds, and we're ready to go. So, and what's really, really great, now you can decide, well, what kind of toppings, and you know my philosophy on toppings. Herein lies my favorite thing to do with toppings is think about going teaspoon by teaspoon, especially when you're using heavier add-ons like sour cream or cheese, because that adds a lot of fat. But I betcha if you put in, I think 2 teaspoons of those fatty ingredients, it's plenty. And you'll see when you dollop it on, it'll be plenty and it'll be enough. And I'm going to show you that today. So this is ready. So I'm going to take it off. And tonight on my fajita, I'm going to add, so it's nice and warm, I'm going to get a fork and I'm going to mix it up here. Okay, so we're going to make, I'm actually going to bring this pan over because it's not too hot anymore. Okay, I'm going to put in a few pieces of fish right in the middle like that. How delicious that. I gotta taste it, sorry guys. Oh my God, it's really good. Perfectly cooked. Great, great, great idea to definitely cook your veggies first. This fish only cooked for 13 minutes and it's so moist and so, so delicious. Oh my God, I wish you guys could come over and taste it. And then I'm gonna put in a bunch of veggies on top. So this is good, you can have like 2 tortillas, or if you don't want to use a tortilla, sometimes I make a fajita salad, which I might do tonight. You can put it on a bed of greens. If you don't want to do that and you have brown rice and you want to make like a fajita bowl, you can make a fajita bowl. So there's lots of different ways that you can do. If you just want to eat the pan as is, because you want to not eat that many carbs, you can do that too. So there's so many different ways of eating, which is so, so awesome. All right, I'll stop talking. So I'm going to put a little bit of sprinkle of cilantro. Goes really well on this. I'm using fresh basil because I'm very allergic to cilantro. And I'm going to put a little bit of cheese. I'm going to use my teaspoon. So I'm going to show you what 2 teaspoons of cheese is. And you're going to say, oh, that's not bad. That's good. See, if you measure it and you're mindful, like how great is that? And I think that's, and then the last thing I always love to do is I'm going to give it a little squeeze of lime because it's so yum yum. And then the other thing I like to do, remember I talked to you in my past cooking classes, I'm obsessed, it's a rhyme. Lori Robbins is here, she would love this. I'm obsessed with zest. I love zest. It's just so, so good for you because zest has twice as much vitamin C as the fruit inside. And it's so aromatic and it's so delicious. And the combination of the Mexican spices with some fresh lime zest is unbelievable. This is what's called a zester. And so all you have to do is just give it a little zest. You just basically take the skin, rub it against this nice little zester, and it comes out and it's got a nice little sprinkle. So my friends, we have made the most, I'm coming close because I want to smell a vision. I want you to smell. We have made the most amazing fajitas. What do you like to put on your fajitas? Another thing that you can add, what kind of fish? Oh, hey Jay, I use wild cod tonight. You can use any type of white fish. My favorite one is to use the wild fish from the local waters, and being that we're from Massachusetts, cod's a great, great solution. But you can use sea bass, any thick white fish would be good. You can even use swordfish if you wanted to, or you can even make shrimp fajitas if you wanted to as well. Have a good time. So isn't this delicious? Oh my God. Oh, other things that you can add to it is you could add like Greek plain yogurt instead of sour cream. That's a good simple swap. And again, 1 or 2 teaspoons, that's all you need to add. And then you just kind of, or if you wanted to add some salsa, you can add some salsa on top of it as well. Salsa is actually a great addition because it doesn't have a lot of calories and it just adds more flavor. But because we've had all the flavor kind of roasted and toasted into the fajitas and in the spice mix that we made, you don't want to overdo it. So my suggestion, I always like to do is, if you want to put a little bit of dairy, a little bit of cheese, if you don't want dairy, you can use almond cheese, that's delicious too, a little bit of Greek yogurt, and just give it a taste. So I'm going to taste it. Okay guys, you ready? 1, 2, 3. Oh my God. This is so delicious. And the combination, I'm so excited. Ooh, I have to go put my fish in. And the combination of the lime with those spices and the little bit of cheese and that little bit of basil that I put in there is so, so good. So guys, you need to make these. And you saw it doesn't take that long to make. You get your 3 cups of veggies in. Easy dinner for the family. Guaranteed your whole family's gonna love it. I promise you. So I'm gonna go put my fish in the oven and I'm going to give you a kiss goodbye. And I'll be back tomorrow. I have a couple of ideas for tomorrow. But if you have some ideas what you want me to make, let me know. And we'll have some fun, okay? Have a great night. Love you guys. Oh, and it's day 40. Can you believe I've been doing this for 10, 20, 30, 40 days? And I've been loving every minute of it to give my heart to you and to make your kitchen so comfortable and happy and make food a great experience for you. I love it, and I love you. So be safe, stay well, love you, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.